Welcome, guys. I I really have to find a special intro for this podcast. Just saying, like, welcome, guys, like this is not enough. I don't know if a special intro is powerful to keep retention. Like, Mr. Beast doesn't have any special intro. Uh, Stephen Bartlett with the Diary of a Senior doesn't have a special intro. It changes for every video. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will. But these also are very produced videos. And like right now, I want to make the recording of a new episode the easiest possible. And maybe finding a new intro, a specific intro, is probably a way to make it easier. But anyway, I'll think about it later. We're talking about something else today. Today, I wanted to talk about my current lack of focus, my thoughts on a party that took place at my house this weekend, and what I'm proud of today, like for the last couple of days. Let's dive in. So I realized that 1 or 2 weeks ago, I always work with a video or a podcast, which very often distract me during my work session. The quality of my work is lower, and I feel more tired at the end of my working session. And they are taking longer because I need to refocus on what I'm working on every time I get distracted. Like I can't work without a video on the side. I don't know why I'm just getting bored so fast. Like it's so annoying to feel like you're making so little progress on your work, but every time working with like nothing in my ears, I'm just getting bored so easily, and I just crave some dopamine. In brief, dopamine is the hormone of pleasure. Like dopamine is part of the reason why you're feeling good when you're doing something. Historically, it was used to reinforce good behaviors, like eating when you're hungry, drinking when you're thirsty, and resting when you're tired. But today, we are also receiving dopamine when we are scrolling on social media, listening to a podcast, or watching a show. So it's really easy to fall in a cycle where you're craving dopamine because it makes you feel good, but when you don't have dopamine, you just go back to the thing you were doing, like scrolling on social media. And this is the cycle I fell into. I'm currently trying to solve it. To do that, I'm reading again my notes on Deep Work, a book by Cal Newport, where he describes a way to get into a form of concentration where you can produce 10 times more value if you never get distracted during the work sessions. He calls this form of concentration deep working. In this book, he describes 4 rules and a handful of really good advices to get into deep work really easily. I won't lay down everything Newport wrote in his book. You should really read the book. But let me describe the most important concepts. First, Newport describes 4 different approaches to deep work. You should be aware of these 4 different approaches and pick the one that fits you the most. The first one is the monastic approach, where you try to eliminate or minimize every distraction possible. Basically, you try to only work in deep mode. Whenever you work, you try to be in deep mode. This method is the most effective, but also the hardest to use because you probably have to attend meetings and everything. You can't just say to your boss, I will work 4 hours a day from now on and won't attend meetings anymore because I will work deeply. It's not possible. So this approach is way more for creative people and independents that control their work hours and can decide to postpone every meetings to the afternoon and work deeply in the morning, for example. Then there is the bimodal approach, where you dedicate a period, probably several days, weeks, or months, to deep work with no distraction, and the remaining time is dedicated to shallow occupation. This approach works fine for everyone, as you can decide to work deeply in the weekend and live your life normally during the week. This can be done really easily. It also works fine for students that can work deeply during the holidays. The third approach he gives is the rhythmic approach, where you try to dedicate some time every day to deep work to create an habit. And this makes getting into deep work easier every day if you don't break the chain. With the 2 previous approach, you will probably work deeply for several hours a day, but for this one, an hour a day is enough because with repetitions, these sessions will get more and more efficient and your work will produce more and more value. And finally, we've got the journalistic approach, where you try to find time for your work, for deep work, in between every appointment and event in your calendar. Like this method is called journalistic approach because journalists need to have like appointments and meetings and everything like this. And so this approach is really not for beginners because you have to get into deep work really fast and be able to like produce a lot of value in a very short amount of time. When you're starting, getting into deep work can take very long. It can take a very long time. But if you master this method and you find a way to get into deep work really fast, you can really get efficient on the long run with this approach of deep work. So these are like the 4 approaches Newport describes in his book. He also advises to retrieve the beginning of a deep work session to create a trigger in your brain. For example, if you always start to work at 7 a.m. or always put the same music at the beginning of your work or always drink a cup of coffee, you'll get into deep work more easily and faster on the long run, which will make it easier. Then, as deep work requires no distraction at all during the work sessions, you need to be ready to fight these distractions, because you will obviously get some. Newport praises that you should always embrace boredom and get more comfortable in being bored instead of getting on your phone or on the internet every time you get bored. During deep work, you shouldn't multitask, which means like working, then answering emails and talking to a coworker, then sending an SMS and everything, you know what I mean? You should only work on your tasks, but once your brain is used to be distracted at all time, it's really hard to focus on a single task when it's required, like for deep work. Newport gives 2 great tactics you can do to improve your acceptation of boredom. The first tactic is to set periods of time where you can't access internet and so distractions. If you are in one of these periods and you feel like you want to get distracted, but you still have like, let's say, 30 minutes to wait, these 30 minutes will become a training session for your concentration. And session after session, day after day, your concentration will obviously improve. The second tactic is to find a really challenging task and start working on it and never leave it until you finish it. Like usually after half an hour or an hour working on the task, you will want to find distractions because your brain is probably blocked and he's just like, let's find something easier to do. But if you keep working on the task until it's finished, you're telling your brain, keep working until we're done and stay focused on the thing we're doing until it's done. And this will really train your concentration and you will be used to work until you're finished. Obviously, these 2 methods are like really hard, but you have to go through these to get more effective in your work using deep work. Finally, Newport gives a hot take. He praises to quit social media to get less distracted over time and have more concentration. For example, he describes an experience made by Barrington Thurston, sorry for the pronunciation, who is an author and multimedia consultant who entirely left social media and email and like everything for 25 days. Thurston felt so good during these 25 days that at the end of it, he said that it ended too quickly. But Newport understands that it's not possible for everyone to stop entirely, so he gives the idea of choosing one day of the week to cut social media entirely. Doing this will really help fight FOMO. FOMO is like this concept of fear of missing out, when you feel bad because you think you're missing the important news. And so you kind of feel like you're out of the popular group in high school, you know? You don't know the latest trends, so you're not cool. But obviously you're creating this fear alone in your brain. Like the important and truly important news, will get to you anyway. If there's a war or a pandemic, I can tell you, I can promise you will know it at the moment. But the latest trend on TikTok or Instagram may not come to you anyway, because like when you think about it second, it's not that important. And this feeling, this FOMO, is the reason why you're staying on social media, because you don't want to miss the train, and it's okay. You just want to be sure to control your usage. And the best way to control your usage is not to become addicted to it. And if you can't leave social media for a day, you're probably addicted. So if you're leaving social media for a day during the week, for example, let's say Sunday is day of social media, doing this will help you get out of the the cycle of I'm getting bored, let's check the internet, let's check Instagram, let's check TikTok. And so during your work days, you will be even more ready to fight distractions if you're used not to think, okay, let's check Instagram or TikTok or anything. And this will really improve your concentration. And these all the things I'm telling you because I need to do them right now. All right, I actually don't have any focus, and these things are what I'm doing today to try to work more efficiently on the long run. And so I'm really starting to use these techniques again to get more done on like the long run. Let's get on the next thing I wanted to talk about today, which is the fact that last weekend, around the 15th of August, there's been quite a big party at my house for my mom's birthday. And I'm not much of a party guy, to be honest. So I felt kind of boring during this party. And as almost everyone was drunk around me, it made me think about parties, how they are perceived, and the place of alcohol in them. Mm, Usually, people say that parties are just a reason to have fun, be all together, see all friends, and just enjoy the moment. But what I don't get about parties like this is that in order to have fun and do all the things I listed before, most people really need, to get drunk, or at least drink alcohol. And I don't get it. I really don't. Most of the time, like heavy drinking leads to like being more candid, shouting loudly, being more violent, which is like not great for a party because if you're just being more candid and you throw a big punchline to someone you don't like, it might end up in a fight, and like the party will be over as soon as someone is starting to punch you in the face. So it's not great for the party in itself. Obviously, like it also helps to be like more social, have less mental barriers, and enjoy more the body. But if you enjoy more with bodies, thanks to alcohol, you will wanna drink more of it to enjoy your body even more, which leads to heavy drinking and all the consequences listed before. And we know it, like all of that is common knowledge. So why are we doing it? Why is it such a thing? I never really understood that. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't really know what it feels to drink and like to get drunk at a certain time. So if you have any response, please send me a DM or like something, because I really wanna understand. I every time someone is getting drunk in front of me, I don't understand why it's doing this. I drank alcohol before, and it never felt good. Yeah, it never was good to drink alcohol. Even the taste wasn't good. Obviously, I can't imagine the addiction part of it. Like, it's totally different question. It doesn't. I'm not talking about addiction to alcohol. I'm talking about just getting drunk like once a month in a party or something like this, which is not addiction. I think. I think it's not. Um, These were the second thing I was thinking about during the week. The third one is that I'm really, really proud I'm keeping my habit of running every day. As I told you last week, I started running. I ran 1 kilometer every day since the 10th of August, so it has now been 12 days. And I only missed 2 days, really because I was lazy. I wasn't like organized at all. I thought I would do it on the afternoon because I woke up really late, and at the end I couldn't do it. Even with these 2 days where I've been where I've been lazy, I'm really, really proud of me because I always hated running. I never kept the habit really long. I would always find excuses and procrastinate until running was a very, very distant memory. And I think what made it easier this time, like to keep the habit thing, comes from three things. The first one is that it's only a kilometer, and since day one I realized it was really nothing. It lasts only 10 minutes, and it's just before taking a shower, so like I can't complain about it. And and if I can go through 10 minutes of pain and self-discipline every day, what does my life look like in 10 years? Like I should be able to do it really easily. This was the first thing. The second was that I never felt bad after the run. Or like it was even the opposite. It felt it felt really good to run and feel like you're doing something good for yourself and your future self. Even during the run, I often have a smile because I'm like, this is great. Like I'm getting closer to the person I want to be, and it really feels good. This was the second part, and the third one is that I actually follow someone who's doing daily vlog during the month of August, and she's also running 1 kilometer a day. And so this makes me feel accountable because if she can do it every day, I can do it every day too. And I have to do it because, like, there is this thing where it feels like I signed a contract with her saying, I will run today and you will run today. And this is it for every day of August and even more. So I'm really happy about the fact that I'm keeping up with this. I know I'll keep it for several months, but I really hope I'll keep it for several years and like as much as I want. This show being totally new, you probably haven't yet subscribed to the show. So could I ask you for a favor? If you like the show and what I'm doing and you want to support me, the free, simple way you can do that is by hitting the subscribe button. My commitment to you, if you do that, is that I will do everything in my power to make this show better for you every single week. I will listen to your feedback and I will continue to do what you love. Thank you. Thank you so much. Finally, to conclude this episode, I wanted to talk about my relationships. My closest friend is leaving for Finland in 3 days for about like 4 months. I'll miss her, obviously, but I will probably visit her in December for the last few days she's staying there. She will definitely be fine there, like she's a very strong girl, and she will obviously have a great time there. I'm really happy for her that she's doing this because that's always what she dreamed of. So I'm really happy for her. But I will obviously miss her. And on the other hand, as you know, my girlfriend and I broke up 2 weeks ago. But I felt less sad this week than last week. There were a lot of times where I wanted to send her a message, but I held myself back because I wanted to try to forget her presence. I'm obviously still in love with her, and I know that if I think about her too much, I will just never move on to something else. I really hope she is doing fine. She is still in holiday. I think she is. She's probably in Italy right now. Yeah, I think she is. But yeah, I kinda miss her. But anyway, this episode comes to an end. As you already know, I use this show to document my life and maybe help you go through struggles more easily. I will never advertise it, I just went on the side of my main project, and if you love it, please keep it to yourself. It will be our own little secret so it doesn't blow up and I can keep my feet on the ground. Thank you for listening. Love. Bye bye.